accomplish an objective. The first of these skills is to develop a candidate list that stays in front of you. Who here's brand new? Been involved in Monavie for 30 or 45 days or less. Okay. For these guys that are raising their hands, brand new people, it's a simple activity to write down a list of names, right? You can get out a little name memory jogger and you can write down a list of names. What if you've been involved in the business, like this gal, for 3 years? Well, she wrote down a list of names 3 years ago, right? If I consider one of the hallmarks of my career, for the last 22 years, I have been among the most prolific recruiters in the industry. I have enrolled hundreds and hundreds of people. In fact, in my 12 months that I was a Monavie distributor, before I took on these different change roles, my first 12 months with Monavie as a distributor, I personally enrolled 244 people. I'd already been in the industry for a long, long, long time. I want you all to know that there is a skill, there is a way to so live our lives so that our candidate list continues to grow in front of us. I want you to know I never had to resort to advertising. I found a way to so live my life so that I could literally enroll at will. I got to decide every day whether or not I sponsor somebody. That skill will be the focal point of our discussion today. First, I want to simply help you understand what all 4 skills are, and then we'll come back around to a focused discussion on how to create this first skill. So, understand number 1, that the network marketing industry is a beautiful and precious thing. Those of you who need it to be right, I promise you it is. Understand that inside network marketing, Monavie is one extraordinary company, and recognize that it's not about catching a wave. It is about identifying a company that will in fact send wave after wave after wave to shore, and then you being among those people who make a permanent commitment to it. You being the example others can follow. The first skill is to create a candidate list that stays in front of you and that grows both in terms of size and quality. We'll come back around to that. I'm going to share with you all now a formula that is an absolute. This is something that took me a long time. It took me years and years and years to be able to break this down in this simple thought process. The measure of our success, the measure of your success, will be determined by the number of high-quality candidates who see your business. The measure of our success will be determined by the number of high-quality candidates who see your business. Now let me stop and contemplate that for a second. What do I mean by a high-quality candidate? I'd like each one of you right now to contemplate the people that are on your prospect list right now. If in your mind's eye you can see your prospect list, are most of the people on that prospect list people who have had more life success than you, or people who have had less? Think about it. Are most of those people who have historically had greater success than you, or those who have had less? One simple thought I realized long ago is that if I want to grow business fast, I better enroll some people who already know how to succeed, right? One of the things that's cool about network marketing is it pays you again for every good thing you've ever done. One of the things most important to me is that, thank heavens, it doesn't penalize us for past mistakes we may have had. I think one of the most beautiful principles, when I was taught years ago, the fundamental principles which govern network marketing are superior to those that govern conventional business. Somebody made that statement. I went and I asked him why. And he answered the question in a few ways. I'll answer it for you this way. I would like each one of you right now to contemplate what is your limiting belief. When I say a limiting belief, when not here in this warm bath of Monavie convention, but when you're home and your most important distributor just quit, when you're home and 2 prospects just told you no, when you're in that environment and you slip into the negative for an instant before taking corrective action, anything that's a limiting attitude, a limiting thought, limiting belief is this: I can't because. I can't because I'm too young. I can't because I'm too old. I can't because my husband or wife doesn't support me. I can't because I don't have any money. You know, all of those are can'ts. Those are limiting beliefs. Well, I found out years ago that one of the reasons the fundamental principles which govern network marketing are superior to those which govern conventional business is because we can recruit our way out of our own weakness. You see, I think of the day that I chose to go to work in Israel, wanted to build an Israeli distributor force. What do you suppose were my biggest limitations? What were my biggest challenges? Well, I don't speak Hebrew. That's a pretty big one in Israel. Right? And the second one is I'm not Jewish. That's a fairly big one too. How did I overcome it? I overcame it by sponsoring a person, just one. As soon as I sponsored one person, his name was Kobe Avasar. I sponsored Kobe. Kobe spoke English as well as me. He spoke Hebrew, and he was willing to engage in a cross-cultural relationship. And as soon as I did that, as soon as I built a relationship of trust with someone who didn't share my limitations, I overcame them. I remember years ago, I was involved with a company. We only sold one product, really, and lowered cholesterol. And I thought my big limitation here is that I'm too young and my cholesterol's not high. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could be a doctor? And so I was telling my sponsor what a great thing it would be if I could become a doctor. He said, well, Randy, you got 2 choices. If you want that medical skill to be representing your business, if you want that credibility, you can either go back to school for 12 years, you can become a doctor, or your second choice is you can sponsor one. See, the thing that I loved about it is he said, Randy, whatever is the skill, the attribute, the positive in your business that lacks, you can sponsor your way out of it. And so now I want you to contemplate once again your candidate list. Do people on your candidate list have the attributes that you want to have in your business? Here's the easy one for me. This is when it finally rolled over for me. One day my sponsor said to me, Randy, let's talk about your candidate list. We looked at it, and he said, mostly what you have here is a bunch of really wonderful people, and I want to help them succeed, but isn't it true that these are mostly people who need Monavie? Yes. He said, let's put some people on your list that Monavie needs. Man, just that simple thought. I continued bringing people into my business who needed it, but I started sponsoring people that my business needed. I started contemplating, what are the attributes? Jan, what do I want my business to look like? And suddenly I started contemplating who is the best at anything. Because someone who can be the best at anything can also be really good here. And I suddenly started putting on my candidate list people who are the best at all kinds of different things. And Corbin, isn't it obvious that if you're the best at what you do, you can transfer those skills into being the best at what I do far more quickly than if you're having to develop your very first successes. So my question for all of you, when I come over here and I say that the first skill required is to grow a candidate list that stays in front of you, is have you yet developed a series of daily behaviors that cause your candidate list to get bigger, both in terms of numbers and in terms of quality and attributes it brings to your business. That's the focal point. But now second, what's the formula? The measure of our success will be determined by the number of high-quality candidates who see our business. That comes in the second skill. Somebody over here said you were brand new, right? You're brand new? Who over here? Okay, you're brand new. Miss, what's your name? Sorry, I can't hear you. So what's your name? Okay, so here's Terry. And this is Terry's deal. She's going to write down a bunch of names that she wants to see Monavie. And it won't be too surprising to me if it goes kind of like this. Terry calls her prospect. Her prospect's named Gary. He says, Gary, I want to tell you all about Monavie. And Gary says, great, Terry, how much money you make? Well, Terry, you're not making any money, isn't that right? Not yet. That's the truth. She's brand new. She's brand new. She's not making any money. People sometimes tell me, Randy, I think network marketing's hard. No, network marketing is not hard. This is what's challenging. What's challenging is that, though I wish it were not so, the vast majority of people who are making any money quit sponsoring, they quit recruiting, and they rely instead upon their group to do the recruiting. Network marketing is not hard. The challenge is that primarily all prospecting calls are made by brand new people. So what it is mostly is a bunch of people who are not making money, proposing to teach other people how to make money. That's the challenge, right? Here's how we overcome it. It's the second skill. You see, Terry's not the opportunity, and I'm not the opportunity, and Eric, you're not the opportunity. Monavie is the opportunity. This is a message of incredible hope for all of you. The second you learn how to invite, that's when you can have confidence that your prospect will see Monavie. Have any of you tried to enroll someone in business? Have any of you tried to show someone our business who didn't join? Does that happen to any of you? Believe it or not, it didn't have to happen. I believe this. I believe that if your prospect sees Monavie, they'll join. I mean, really, I think if somebody saw Monavie, what you've seen yesterday, they'd join, wouldn't they? But you're not going to have this international convention at your home next week. Since you're not, it's really, really important that you learn how to invite. Because if you know how to invite, then your prospect will see Monavie without you having them here at this convention. The first skill is to know how to have a candidate list that grows in front of you in terms of size and in terms of quality, so that you build a business, yes, helping people who so desperately need it, but also bringing people into our business that we need, such that we have those new skills and attributes, those past proven successes. The third skill, once we have, remember, the number of high-quality candidates who see our business, where does that go? It goes to your building belief. What is your real belief about network marketing? Really, truly, no kidding. Look at your candidate list, and there you'll find out. Is your personal position on your candidate list? And if so, has he or she been there forever and you didn't call? You know, if you didn't call the best and the brightest and the strongest, if you haven't called the best and the brightest and the strongest people you know, then that is betraying your real belief. That's betraying your real belief. And so I believe that it's critically important that you be engaged in a process that's causing your confidence and knowledge in this network marketing industry, your confidence and knowledge in Monavie, your confidence in yourself to always be going up. If your confidence in yourself is going up, then that will give you a greater willingness to put higher quality candidates on your candidate list. If you develop the first skill, you'll have a larger number of higher quality candidates on the list. The second skill is to develop an inviting process. And I'll teach you how that works in a few minutes. The third skill, now we've got a high number of high quality candidates. We learn how to invite them to become eligible to see the business. If I was to ask you to replace me right now, Thorsten, if I was to put this clicker in your hand, it'd be a little difficult maybe, right? What we must develop is an eminently replicatable presentation method that allows the newest person who hasn't yet made any money to effectively deliver the message. The newest person to be able to flip the pages on a chart. The newest person to be able to point at those words and smile and grin. The newest person to be able to push play on the DVD. Whatever it is, an eminently replicatable presentation method. But here's the key. If we reduce everything to pure duplication, then we've eliminated special skills. My gosh, it'd be a horrible thing if I took the spark that is Holly Roush out of it, right? I mean, what I want is a replicatable process, but I want a replicatable process that puts a spotlight on special skills and that packages those special skills to make them accrue to the benefit of as many people as we possibly can. That's the magic. So now if we've got a larger number of higher quality candidates who become eligible to see our business, we have an eminently replicatable process that anybody can do but takes advantage of special skills, then what will be the outcome? Then we'll have a whole bunch of people and we can exercise our fourth requisite skill of just starting new people in a proven and predictable pattern of activities. I want you all to know there is no luck and there is no guesswork. There are a series of actions, activities, behaviors we engage in that will cause more people to become more profitable more quickly. Okay, so the four requisite skills are what? The first one is to learn how to grow and create a candidate list that stays in front of you. The second is to learn how to invite. The third is to learn how to present the business in an eminently replicatable way. And the fourth is to have a duplicatable new member orientation process. Now, the focus of this discussion or presentation was to describe how it is that I developed skill number one. Now remember I asked you at the very beginning, if I could show you specifically and exactly how to develop this series of skills, how to do it in less than a year, are you willing to do it? And I'm going to ask you again. I'm about to show you how to develop the first skill. Are you willing? Yeah? Okay. Alright. The way that I developed the first skill was by establishing a daily activity standard. And so my first question for each of you is, do you have a daily activity standard now? Probably not. The majority of you probably do not have a daily activity standard now. When I first got involved in network marketing, it was not a good choice in most respects. But when I first became a distributor, I was so taken by this. You know, those of you who are here for the first time, you've seen, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? I was so taken by this, and I so couldn't stand what I did for a living. On Monday morning, I went into my office and I quit. The bad news was that the prior year I'd made $500,000 as a stockbroker. My lifestyle, my mortgage, my car payments, my everything needed not just that $500,000, but it needed $750,000. And it took me no time at all before I was in one bad space financially. But I'm glad that I did it in one respect, because it forced me to establish a daily activity standard. And that daily activity standard was I promised myself that in my first 365 days, I would introduce 3 new people to our business every single day. Every single day. And that was a pledge that I made to myself that I kept. So 365 days times 3, that was 1,095 people. I didn't have 1,095 people on my candidate list. The daily activity standard demanded that I develop skill number one. You know what? I had to punish myself a little bit in the beginning, because the first several weeks, the end of the day would come, and I promised myself that I'd introduce 3 people to the business that day, and I hadn't. So what was the punishment? I went down to the Argo EMP and Mini Mart. I went down to the gas station. I waited for the next nice car to pull up. And when the next nice car pulled up, then I walked up to you, and when you got out, I said, "Ma'am, congratulations. This is a beautiful vehicle. That says to me that you're really good at something. I believe that I can show you how to turn those skills into a greater outcome. Are you willing to listen to this?" And I put an audio tape in your hand. And I could have said, "Are you willing to watch this?" I could have said, "I would like to invite you to this." But my daily activity standard said 3 times a day I was going to introduce someone to our business. 3 times a day I was going to do that. And if at the end of that day I hadn't, I went to a gas station and I waited for the next nice vehicle to pull up. And I said, "Congratulations, Luke. This is a beautiful